the Eagles and St Kilda, both winners last week. St Kilda with the home ground advantage. Kitchke up high. Laidley getting ridden into the ground by Winmar. It must be a free kick to the Eagles. He could take it off him. Lucky. Dean Laidley. No mark paid. That's Kemp. And the other blonde is Langdon, who starred last week. A flying shot at goal is just off target, missed by half a metre. All clear, says the umpire, for one behind. Or is he going to get another kick? Well, that's interesting. Wait and see what happens here, Ian. He is going to get another kick.
He's certainly going to get another kick. And, well, it looked pretty clear from here that he did kick the ball and he was interfered with after the kick went down the ground. So the umpire, in his wisdom, has decided to give Langdon the opportunity at having another crack at it.
Carl Langdon last week, one of the stars of the Eagles' victory over Collingwood at Subiaco. He and Guy McKenna I was particularly impressed with. He's hooked that one. And one behind only. Was it a goal?
A goal.
It's a goal.
Certainly a goal. The ball came back beautifully, and I was going to say that Langdon had to have learnt from his first kick, because the first kick did drift right across the face of goal, and Carl Langdon had a really good look at that. So the second time round, an educated kick to the right-hand side, and the wind brought it back nicely. So Langdon kicks the first goal of the match. Back in the centre now, the Eagles. It's just what they needed to get a start like that. Now St Kilda, Grant. He gets the ball off to Burke. Burke's kick up towards half forward. No one can take the mark there, but strong in defence for the Eagles is William. Williams kick out wide. McKenna gets the ball off to Pios. Pios's left foot kick is a little scrambly. Up towards half forward. Scrag to the ground. Was Worsfold. Is that Worsfold? Wilson at, on the centre wing. A long kick by Wilson towards centre half forward. Lowy at the back can't mark. St Kilda under pressure. A lot of pressure applied by the Eagles forwards, and that could be a Mickey Malthouse influence early in this match. Certainly all players have to work hard, particularly the forwards, to keep the ball in.
So a bounce inside 50 for the Eagles, knocked down by Kitchke. Chance for Pekin. Some of these players look different in different jerseys, and that's Peter Wilson. We're used to seeing him in the Richmond jersey. Chance for Cracker. Couldn't pick it up. Here's Kemp again. Now, is that a trip? Cracker. He's got the free kick. Very tricky kick, this one. He is sheltered by the grandstand, but he's kicking against the breeze, so one of the most difficult shots. He actually doesn't have one. Looks for Sumic. Mainwaring was down there, but St Kilda through Cracker should be able to get clear. He fires out the hand pass. Frawley offloaded. Eagles are plenty at the fall of the ball. Chance for Mainwaring to have a shot. He roved last week and did particularly well, but that's out of bounds on the full.
Pretty unselfish stuff there by Mainwaring. He had Lamb on his own, only 5 or 6 metres further away, and definitely in the clear, Dwayne Lamb, and he looked up as soon as Mainwaring had kicked that ball over the boundary line on the full. Short kick by Cracker to centre half back. Mark taken by Jeffrey. The player on his own in the centre, Laurie, but he elects to go long. Up towards half forward, a big punch by Ugle. The Eagles at centre half forward, but St Kilda strong in defence. Jeffrey again, who played a crackerjack game against Footscray last week, clears for St Kilda out wide. Owen's dumped unfairly and right in front of the St Kilda Social Club.
What else would you expect?
Any umpire who doesn't give a kick in that situation, and there's 50 metres, and I'd reckon the crowd's done that too, Pete.
Yes, no doubt about that.
The player, the Eagles player, William, and this will put Owen right on the point of the 10-metre square.
Well, I'll mark that down as a goal already. I don't think he's going to miss that one.
So Rod Owen can level the scores in the early part of the first quarter. The goal kicked for the Eagles by Langdon. Umpire Chris Mitchell giving a 50-metre penalty against William, and Owen goals. So it's 1 goal apiece in the early part of the game here at Moorabbin.
And we'll expect the runner to come out to speak to Brad William, I would say, very, very quickly. Goals are hard enough to get. You don't give them away, son. There he is, Brad William, one of the rookies in the Eagles side. Played well last week without being spectacular. Was named on the interchange bench today. but did in fact take his place in the side at the bounce of the ball. And we saw Ania and Chris Lewis starting on the bench. So scores level here at Moorabbin.
They've lost the ball too, Pete.
Not surprising. It's gone into the car park. It's probably in a pub raffle by now.
It's a pretty costly venture if you kick the ball out of the car park down here, I'd say.
Wouldn't be the first time it's happened. Back into the centre. A goal apiece. Knocked down by Irving. Certainly not very far. Nixon crashed to the ground, but he had the ball. He's come up with the free kick. I suppose we could say deservedly so, because he went in for it. Where's Lockett? Well, they've got 3 on him at the moment. Could have almost been construed as a throw. Ugle, he played a brilliant last quarter when he was moved to the forward line. Irving, a little bit too far for a dive there. Harding should be able to pick it up. Good backup support from Nathan Burke. Kemp applying the tackle. Umpire says holding the ball.
Unbelievable stuff. I just can't accept that can be a free kick when the player on the ground is always attempting. And justifiably, Burke could get a kick here.
Good tackle. McKenna being booed. Most uncalled for.
Ridiculous.
He was the man that was struck by Tony Lockett last year, and that is poor sportsmanship. Kitchke, well, not Kitchke, was booted away by Wilson, the opposite number 9. The Eagles threw Mainwaring up forward. Eagles doing a lot of the attacking, not getting much result so far. This is Tim Peakin, the former Fitzroy player, kicks back towards centre field, and a chance for Winmar.
Winmar's slick hand pass goes out to Grant. Grant gets the hand pass across to Laurie. Laurie's kicked to full forward. Lockett's got 2 on him. Kick off the ground by Owen. Slews off the side of his boot. Brennan under pressure. Gets it back to Ugle. Across it comes to Worsfold. Worsfold in the back pocket. A short pass finds Rance. The Eagles have the numbers. Rance gets around onto his left foot. A little too easily around Winmar. Kicks it out towards centre wing. Langdon a little bit in the back. The ball close to the boundary line. Now there's a free kick. No, play on, says the umpire. And still Langdon. Can he break clear? Great tackle by Burke. Ball comes back to Kemp. He's caught. And umpire Chris Mitchell, consistent anyway, gives the free kick to Burke. He gets the hand pass away to Peakin. Peakin's left foot kick is astray over the boundary line on the full. It's a free kick to be taken by the Eagles between half-back and full-back. And it'll be taken by William.
He gave away 50 metres before and a goal. Owen stands the mark. The Eagles might be better advised to play the outer flank. Not getting much assistance from the crowd here. Wouldn't be much better over there, by the way, but it might be a trifle better. This is Grant Laurie, formerly of Fitzroy. Towering drop punt. Lockett again, has to beat 2. Nixon snapshot. Judging by that reaction, he's missed, and the goal umpire agrees. 1 behind to St.Kilda.
Actually, that wind that is blowing pretty well across the ground is proving to be quite tricky, as we saw with Langdon's goal, and then another shot there from Nixon.
Brennan, he did a great job on Brian Taylor last week. Finds Laidley, whose form also at Subiaco last week was good. That kick, I don't think I could use the same adjective to describe. Russo, a wild hand pass into the open spaces. Paul Pios gets there first. Guy McKenna. Langdon in front. Can't take the mark. Grant on his own. Nearly clean bowled Rod Owen. A Yorker, I think, almost. Good tackle by Langdon. Peakin, well tackled by Pike. Worsfold. 2 Eagles are there, and the mark is taken by Paul Pios.
Pios plays on quickly, kicks it up towards half forward. Wilson can't mark, but good endeavour. Goes after it again. Sweeping hand pass goes wide to McKenna. Back in the play again is Pios. Pios' long kick towards full forward. 1 out. Frawley in front. Takes the mark in front of Sumich. Good play.
On top, Ian.
Yeah, good play there by Frawley to put himself in front of Sumich. He's got superior strength, and Sumich will have his work cut out. The ball comes out towards the wing. Peakin and Burke combine well. Russo arrives on the scene to take the hand pass, and a beautiful little kick by Russo finds Winmar. Winmar at centre half forward, plays on quickly, sends a bomb in the Lockett direction. Lockett again with 2 against him, fights on, gains possession, but he's over the boundary line. Umpire very close to the action. That's boundary umpire Barr, and he elects to throw it in.
Pretty clear what the tactics are on Lockett, Ian. Not too much doubt about that. Winmar takes the hand pass. Owen on the left foot. What's the breeze going to do with that? Gee, I thought that was out of bounds. He's given it to behind. think a little bit of generosity there from the boundary umpire, but St Kilda lead by 2 points. 17 minutes and a bit left in the opening term. And the Saints with the breeze. It's not a gale by any means. Irving up in front. A wild hand pass out the back. Comes in the direction ultimately of Lockett. A chance for the Saints now. Nathan Burke takes the hand pass, loses a boot. Onto Russo. A high kick. The forwards won't like that one. But the Eagles have the numbers. Rance looks for a hand pass. Gets it to Brennan. 2-on-1 in favour of St Kilda. Down it comes to Pios. He's been solid. In fact, he was last week. Played a good game. Gutsy mark taken by Nathan Burke. Jeffrey at midfield. Back in the St Kilda side this year. Chance for Dwayne Lamb. He didn't have any time at all. Harvey grabbed, had the ball and dropped it. Umpire says play on. Good decision. Russo again. Felix up the full forward. Lockett almost. Gets the hand pass out. Owen, great stuff from the St Kilda full forward. He's dropped that one. His second goal. First was from a 50-metre penalty. St Kilda 2-2. The West Coast 1 goal.
Well, it was great play there by the two key forwards in the St Kilda lineup. Firstly, Lockett, who's had a real problem so far. The Eagles have got 2 players on him, and so Rod Owen chips in and takes the hand pass from the Burley full forward and kicks his second goal. And if that's the Eagles' attitude, they've got to pick that player up on the ground quickly. So back in the centre, good ball up there by the umpire. Mainwaring takes the tap down, but he's grabbed around the neck, and a free kick to the Eagles' smaller player. Chris Mainwaring kicks it towards centre half forward. Sumich, high fly, couldn't grab it. Ball comes wide. Kitchke lumbering. Now the Saints are under pressure. Devonport in the back pocket. Lovely slick little handball to Rice. Rice at half back runs his required distance. Kicks it long towards centre half forward. Harvey can't mark. Eagles, look at the numbers there. Lamb out to Laidley. Laidley pinned in against the boundary line, but somehow gets the pass to Pios. And Pios has done pretty well. That's his 5th kick. The kick wide towards Langdon. They're 2-on-1 here, the Eagles. Langdon tapping it to his own advantage. Now a hand pass. Wilson inside 50 will go for goal. The kick goes across the face. It's marked right on the goal line by Devonport. Good play by the youngster.
Devonport to the outer side. And Ian called Kitchke lumbering. Well, I don't think he's a stalled gift winner. Nixon a little bit faster. Mainwaring is even faster, but I think he's gone over the boundary line. And it will be thrown back into play.
That was a fair appeal by Ricky Nixon there for holding the ball, I would have thought, because
the line saved him.
Well, there was no way known that Mainwaring was trying to move it on.
You're right. Irving and Laidley. Laidley looks for the hand pass. Oh, it's a wild one. Ugle might be able to do something with it. He can. This is McKenna. Mainwaring, who played a great game last week at Subiaco. Low. He's found his niche at half back. Harding gets around Wilson. St Kilda kicking the ball long. Ugle got well underneath it. Owen, can he make it? 3 goals in the quarter. He breaks that tackle. Brennan and Lockett. The Eagles have the numbers down there in defence. Worsfold, the Eagles acting captain. He's put that out of bounds on the full. The Eagles defence under pressure and showing signs of cracking. Nathan Burke thought about the hand pass. Of course, last year he couldn't do that. He's found Nicky Winmar. Saints forward line looking good. Russo, he's been good so far. Grant, good tackle. Ugle, it's going to be a ball up.
Excessive use of handball there by St Kilda. Just not any of those players were in a position where they were running with the flow of the ball. They were all having to stop and wait for the ball to land in their hands.
Easy to see what the tactic is there. Handball whenever possible. Winmar gets flattened.
Well, pressure's the name of the game from a Mickey Malthouse coach team, and the Eagles obviously very emphatic with that area.
Well, he's led into the pocket. Lockett that takes the mark against 2 players. And the thing I'm worried about is the angle.
What a great mark, Pete. What a fantastic mark that. The big man with strength, arms straight up in the air, and the ball stuck.
Yes, good grab. But leading into the pocket, well, we'll see if the end result is worth the effort.
Well, if there's ever home ground advantage, I really feel that this is where it comes in, where a player has a kick from a difficult position and he knows the ground. He's been at training here now, Tony Lockett, for what, 5 or 6 years maybe, and he probably knows the ground, he knows the winds, where the wind's blowing, and I would expect him to capitalise here.
So Tony Lockett from the left forward pocket. He'd need to aim for the right goalpost. Distance, of course, won't be a problem. To wait on the goal umpire for that one. No, one behind. In fact, he didn't allow enough. Tony Lockett,
he just hooked that kick a little bit.
Yep.
Pete.
Leading goal kicker for St Kilda. And he's won it 5 times. Chris Lewis on the ground. Didn't play last week. Back into the side today. Very skillful player. Lewis up the centre wing with the kick. 2-on-1 in favour of St Kilda. It's picked up by the former Fitzroy player Pekin. A centering kick to Lowe. Gets clear of Lamb. Call it a pass, call it whatever. It's a mark to Nixon.
Luck's a fortune.
Now Nixon will kick from outside the 50-metre mark, but he has the wind behind him for what it's worth.
He fancies his chances.
St Kilda leading 2-3 to 1 goal. He's given it height. It's got the distance. It's got accuracy. It's a goal. So St Kilda now making the most of the breeze. 3-3-21 to 1 straight.
Well, that was a great kick by Ricky Nixon. Perhaps a little bit of good fortune from the Stuart Lowy kick. But Ricky Nixon in front. He's not a big man, playing at centre-half forward. And a terrific effort to go back, have a good look at it. And with the wind blowing, the advantage was there for him. So the Saints lead by 15 points. They're back into attack from that centre bounce. The ball at half forward. Lowy can't get past. Good defensive work there by the Eagles. Ugle, in comes Rice. Close to the boundary line is Dean Rice. The ball goes over. Central umpire Carey calls to the boundary umpire to throw it in. Right on the 50-metre line. Actually, it's just a little further out. And it's within scoring distance for the Saints. 3-3 to the West Coast, 1 goal. The kick comes out for St Kilda. Up towards the forward pocket, the kick coming from Russo. The bounce is a little awkward. Free kick being picked out of it. Looked a bit of a technical one, but umpire Carey not too far away from the action. So I guess he'd know a little bit more about it from down there. And the free kick going back there to Rance in the back pocket.
Captain last year, Murray Rance. Langdon late on the scene. Low at the back, comes down with the ball. In fact, almost. It's a St Kilda free kick this time. And it's going to Kitchke. A couple of technical ones plucked out by the umpires. Kitchke from left half forward flank. Logically, Lockett the target. McKenna fires the hand pass out. Laidley has speed to get clear. And does the wise thing out to the outer side. Pios has been one of their best in the opening term in front of Rice, who has a rather unique distinction at the moment. 63 consecutive games, Dean Rice. He hasn't missed a game since round 5 of 1987. He's a long way behind Jack Skinny Titus of Richmond, who holds the record of over 200. Winmar outside 50. Lockett again. No. Rushed through by Murray Rance for 1 behind.
This will be a very good test for Tony Lockett, I would think, because with the tactics the Eagles are using with 2 players on him, I think he could become very, very easily frustrated.
What's happening here?
There's a free kick, obviously against Lockett in the marking contest.
Yes, it's a
pushing the man that was dropping back in the back to try and get a position to take the mark himself.
There's 1 behind scored. The goal umpires waved the flag. Score does count. Lockett looks nonplussed. I am too. That's a 50-metre penalty.
Well, he's been going crook at his teammates, Tony Lockett. I've been watching him very, very closely.
No fault of theirs. He's had to beat, or try to beat, 2 opponents. Langdon. Oh, gee, that was a throw. Harding. Oh, gets collected by Langdon. Fair hip and shoulder. Good bump. Out of bounds, centre wing. Good football. St Kilda fans don't like it. Good solid stuff. Boundary throw in on centre wing. Kitchke wins out. Kemp almost taken high. Knock on, goes to Lamb in front of Laurie. Good job on Dacos last week, Wayne Lamb. Shut him out of business. Pike got one in the back. Swinging around to Sumich. Oh, shocker. Out of bounds on the full. Laurie will take the free kick, number 32. They both full forwards, Ian, so far not having the best of afternoons.
I'll tell you what, that word shocker is a very, very apt description. That was a terrible kick by Peter Sumich. The kick comes out of the back line by Grant Laurie. Big punch by Scott. Kemp swoops on it. Hand pass goes back towards Laidley. Thought about going onto the left, then got back onto the right foot, kicks it towards half forward. Good punch away by Harding. Burke does pretty well, but his hand passes astray. Mainwaring swoops on it. Kick into the pocket. Very ordinary tactics. The pockets aren't where the ball needs to be here at Moorabbin. Kitchke gets the hand pass back to Jeffrey. Love the look of Jeffrey. Lovely kick to Grant. Grant's kick high towards half forward. Eagles from behind. A great mark taken by Murray Rance. He had the jump or the drop on the player Stuart Lowy, but a good mark taken by Rance at half back. He gets the hand pass back to Pios. The players look much more comfortable now being able to hand pass after free kicks.
Have they?
And the kick comes wide to Brennan. Brennan's little kick, they've got nowhere. They've had 3 kicks really and gained about 25 metres, the Eagles. Laidley has the ball at half back, kicks it in towards the centre. Over the top, a good punch away by Grant. Cracker swoops on the ball, but he's a little slow getting rid of it. Pekin struggling hard in the centre of the Moorabbin ground, and now the umpire awards a free kick. It should go to Pekin, I
would think so.
Well, it's not. It's going to the Eagles. I thought Pekin was the player with the ball, but Worsfold takes the free kick.
You're just as puzzled as I am, Ian. Almost a mark to Wilson. A toe poke out of the pack. Only sees the ball go as far as Grant. Devonport should get there first for St Kilda. He's taken out. Kitchke. Back it comes to Pekin. Oh, gets flattened. That's got to be downfield.
Now there's got to be some remonstration here from St Kilda. That was terrible stuff by Langdon. No St Kilda player come anywhere near him. He's been reported.
Well, it was a fair bump. It was just late.
Well, you're not entitled to do that. That's what the umpires... Well, they're trying to knock that out of the game, and I think that it's definitely a reportable incident.
Oh, I think it's Tiggy Touchwood. Certainly a free kick, I agree. Anyway, let's get on with the game. It's a good one so far. Russo. Lockett.
That's the way to answer it, Peter.
It is.
Just get on with the game, get the ball up forward, kick a goal, end of story.
He hasn't kicked the goal yet, but he's got the mark, Tony Lockett. Second mark. And St Kilda doing it easily at the moment. 3-4 to 1 goal. The Eagles' forward line not functioning as it did last week. Crowd likes it. I'll wait on the goal umpire for this one. It's a goal. And I'll tell you what, they come from underneath the woodwork here at Moorabbin when they start to win matches, and they're in full voice here this afternoon. And things could develop here. At the moment, they're under control. Lockett's first goal. Nixon has one. Owen has 2. Langdon on screen has been reported for a late tackle. Could be unduly rough play. We'll have to wait on it. Back into the centre. 6.5 minutes left in the first term. It's been a good one for St Kilda. They've looked much the better side. Getting the ball out of the centre again through Nathan Burke. Down towards half forward. This is Ugle. Pios, who's probably been just about their best player. Chris Lewis on left centre wing. Clears Jeffrey. Down to half forward. Frawley hits the ball to the deck. Devonport fumbles. Still gets the hand pass out. Pike has been quiet. Kemp likewise hasn't done much. They're hunting in packs down there at the moment. That's a throw just about, but it's scooped out. The umpire says OK. Grant can't do much with it. Kemp goes for the short pass. Mark to Lewis.
Well, I feel that they're playing just across this ground a little bit too much, the Eagles. Now, Chris Lewis is at between centre and centre half forward, looking for someone to lead. He has it now out in front of Sumich. 3 St Kilda defenders swoop on him. The ball comes clear to Rice. Pios desperate. Jeffrey under pressure from Sumich. Tap on by Frawley. A free kick being picked out of it. Jeffrey being held when he didn't have the ball. So Russell Jeffrey, who played with St Kilda a couple of seasons ago and couldn't really come to terms with city life.
Done well today, Ian.
And has come back after captaining and coaching Jerilderie in New South Wales. Jeffrey's kick in towards the centre. Lowy couldn't mark. The big hands, he couldn't control the ball. Now it comes out towards Lewis. Lewis's kick off the ground. Rice, deep in the wing. Rice could be tackled. He just gets his foot to the ball. He's slung as he kicks it, but it's out of bounds, perhaps just before Dean Rice kicked the ball, so the boundary umpire will throw it in. On centre wing, just slightly forward of centre wing in the Eagles scoring half. The ball comes out the back. Opportunity there for Laurie. Gets around onto his right foot. Usually a pretty good kick, Grant Laurie. That's no exception. Picked up by Lamb at half back. He drives the Eagles into attack, up inside 50 metres. Langdon can't mark. The ball at the back now. Kitchke, a little tidy hand pass there to Laurie. Laurie's long kick towards centre half forward. No mark. The players having difficulty judging the distances. Laidley, who's being played well for the Eagles. He kicks them back out of trouble towards the centre. The ball at the back. Jeffrey does pretty well and backs his way out of the pack. Gets his right foot to the ball up towards half forward. Held when he didn't have it was Winmar. The ball comes clear to Russo. Russo's kick towards centre half forward. No one home for the Saints, and Ugle will clear for the Eagles.
Troy Ugle, his double-fisted punch-aways are often a feature of his game. Main Waring has the mark on right centre wing. The Eagles breaking down badly across half forward. I don't think he went for the ball. Langdon. Kitchke gets the hand pass out. This is Laurie down to left half forward. And the mark is taken down there for St.Kilda by Lowe. Now he gets a play on call from the umpire. His kicking for goal has never been great. Lockett almost. Laidley rushes it through from behind. I just had to check whether that was Lowe because he's been playing at centre half back.
Well, he's been at centre half forward now for 5 minutes, perhaps.
Oh, thank you, Ian.
They did swap them. Harding down there at centre half back. I think perhaps looking for a bit of marking ability at centre half forward.
Guy McKenna, best and fairest winner for the Eagles last year. Kemp, one of their recruits that they believe is going to be a star. McKenna again is a star, there's no doubt about that. A great player to Main Waring, but it's Grant. The Eagles becoming a little bit frustrated. Acting captain Worsfold looks for Main Waring, but I agree with you, Ian, they're just wasting their kicks. They don't gain much from them. It's real zigzag stuff at the moment. That's the exception. Two St Kilda players up at the back. Then it comes to Burke. Ball booted clear by Laurie. McKenna again. Worsfold. They're defending desperately, the Eagles. Rance runs into Cracker. Did he drop the ball? I thought so. The St Kilda crowd certainly did. And you wouldn't argue with them here. Now Cracker outside 50. I think he went for too much distance. Ugle. Lewis. Three of them are there. Lamb and Jeffrey to the outer side, and Wilson and marking in front of Pekin. Former Richmond player kicks it to the edge of the square. Kitchke went up one-handed. Pike has done little so far. Tap out by Grant, picked up by Pios. Oh, not a good hand pass. Lockyer under pressure. Did well to actually gain control of the ball, albeit for a short period. Kitchke again. Not a great kick. Winmar could have been held. McKenna, most unsportsmanlike from the St Kilda crowd. Appalling stuff. Ugle breaks the tackle only just from Harvey and Burke. Did well to get it to Kemp on right centre wing. Kemp will look for Langdon. They boo everybody here. Now Carl Langdon, a long way from goal. Sumich on a lead should mark. And a very tricky kick by Peter Sumich, who was the Eagles' leading goal kicker last year with 45. And they badly need any score. Only one goal, and that was kicked by Carl Langdon, the first goal of the match. Sumich running out. Will try to draw it back. He can't. And a strong mark taken by Kitchke. He gets it to Russo. St Kilda's defence, Ian, standing firm.
Doing pretty well. That was a good mark by Kitchke. The kick by Russo goes into the centre. Oh, Jeffrey is taken out of it by Worsfold. Scott on the bottom of the pack. Mad scramble for possession on centre wing, and umpire Carey calls for a bounce. Well, I don't quite know. 4-5, kicking with the aid of the breeze. The Eagles have only been able to kick one goal into it. It just might be enough. Difficult to tell from up here. Good punch. Goes towards the Eagles' goal. Kitchke running with the the bounce of the ball, very difficult to pick it up. Devonport, who played a terrific game last week, steady in defence, gets the hand pass off to Russo. A neat little pass by Russo is perfect to Lowy. Lowy gets it off to Harvey. He's been hardly sighted. The kick is perfect, and Owen takes the mark at centre half forward. He was fairly closely attended. There's the siren to end the first quarter here at Moorabbin. The Saints have an opportunity to add to their score. They're 4-5, 29. The West Coast are 1 goal straight, 6 points. So what remains to be seen is whether Rod Owen can make the distance from 50 metres.
He's got 2 already.
Rod Owen runs close to the man on the mark with the torpedo punt kick. It is magnificent. What a goal. No, it's not. It's a point. Well, the Saint fans give everybody up here. The cheers and what have you, but still a point result. So it's 4-6-30 at quarter time. St Kilda, the West Coast are 1 goal straight, 6. Far from the centre circle where the umpire's about to bounce the ball to the goal square, but it can be a long way if you can't start zigzagging across the ground.
Second quarter at Moorabbin. The Saints leading by 24 points, 4-6 to 1 goal. But the Eagles this quarter have the advantage of what I would term a slight breeze. Main Waring with a spiral punt kick down towards the half-forward line. Lewis started on the bench and fumbles. Devonport gets the front position. Going through solidly was Jeffrey, who was one of St Kilda's best players in the first quarter. It comes out to Pike, who hooks the ball down to the forward line, looking for Sumich. Frawley was there, but it's low. Streaming out of defence, a good long kick. Rice, who's played over 60 consecutive games. Pekin has been a fine contributor so far in the opening stages of this game. Worsfold, acting captain for the Eagles. He's over the boundary line. I think the ball is still in play, and that's holding the ball.
Well, the umpire is a long way from it. And
too far, Ian.
Very difficult to work out whether the player's trying to move the ball on.
I don't think he could, but he was lying on it. So you be the judge at home. As Peter Russo takes the free kick. Ugle, beautifully read, onto Wilson, who was named on the bench. Langdon and Laurie. Ranson Harding. Ball hooked up to half forward. Jeffrey, who's been a star down there so far, he's got backup support from Devonport, doesn't really need it. Lowe tries to charge through, but it is a St Kilda free kick, and I think it's going to Jeffrey, who has done...
7th kick coming up.
Yeah, he's done really well down there, hasn't he? Look for Kitchke. Well, I don't know whether they really gained much from that. They have retained possession, so I suppose that's a plus. Ball bouncing on centre wing. It bounces better for Winmar. He'll look for Lockett, I would presume. He could have put no rent on that.
Well, it was great play by Winmar, because as soon as he took possession, he looked upfield, and that's a sign of a good player. The guy who's prepared to stop and have a bit of a look to see if he can kick it to his side's advantage.
Lockett's kicked 1 so far. I don't think he's going to get his second with that kick. In fact, the ball was close to being still in play. Now it's out of bounds.
So we've got a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for St Kilda. Kicking into the slight breeze in this second term. McKenna gets the hand pass out wide. Owen, Pekin. That kick wasn't really far enough for a mark. Pekin again. He's pushed off the ball. Umpire allows play to go on. Well within scoring distance. Main Waring is tackled. Made it look a little worse than it was, I thought, Main Waring. But the umpire gives him the free kick. He gets the hand pass away. Now the opportunity through Scott for the Eagles to go into attack. It's at half forward. Devonport finds space. No, well tackled by Pike. Ball runs free. Wilson, sweeping hand pass. Rance goes back to Lamb and then does a brilliant shepherd. Lamb into an open goal. Should kick it? No. Unselfishly handballs it away to Sumich, and the Eagles kick their second goal.
And these are the best passage of play by the West Coast Eagles. So far it's 4-6 to 2 goals at Moorabbin.
Tremendous play there by the Eagles, and some good unselfish stuff. And it's very, very difficult when you're playing away from home. I guess the teams from the East Coast suffer it when they go over to Perth, but gee whiz, they must be missing all of that support, the Eagles players, but they did it pretty well there.
Sumich's first goal. Nixon, who's already kicked one. Wilson, excellent hand pass, not taken well by Dwayne Lamb. Grant almost catches him. Mainwaring will have to be quick to get rid of this. Wilson, well done through heavy traffic. Almost caught again. Quick kick by Lockyer. Will be out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will be taken by Danny Frawley. And the Eagles, at least in this quarter so far, have seemed they want to go more direct.
Very, very much so, Pete. Yep.
Danny Frawley back into the side today. Looks for Lowe. Harding. Intelligent tap out into space. No one can take it, unfortunately, for St Kilda, but they do have backup support this time. Kitchke, who's not fast. He has done a few useful things so far. Now a chance for Wilson again. Wilson at right half forward flank. Well shepherded by McKenna. A good long kick by the former Tiger. No one at home at all for the West Coast Eagles. It's left at Devonport. They look like a trio down there. Devonport, Burke and Rice on the half back line. Pios to Lewis, who does have great ball skills, and you can see why he finds Lockyer without too many problems. Lockyer kick out from full back, and he can kick the ball a country mile, but kicking for goal is something else, isn't it?
Well, he's 55 metres from goal, and he fancies himself, Pete.
Went for the spiral punt, didn't get onto it. The end result, a mark to Kitchke. Sort of runs a bit like Gary Dempsey, but that could be a wrap. Pios almost gives away 50 as Grant takes the mark inside the square. He's gone out wide. Oh, great mark to Peter Wilson, and decides to play on directly. He's found Pike on left centre wing, who finds some space. Inside 50, chance for the Eagles, but Mainwaring overruns the ball and has left to Jimmy Cracker to do the tidying up work.
Well, Jimmy Cracker, he comes away from the full back line and kicks it high back in towards the centre. Lowy takes the mark and plays on, gives the hand pass, and then does a good shepherd. The ball now with Nathan Burke. His kick towards half forward. The Saint fans can see a free kick, and so can umpire Mitchell, and it could be going to their superstar Nicky Winmar at centre half forward. He gets up favouring his leg, but rather resilient as Nicky Winmar. Don Pike goes off, and coming on for his first taste this afternoon is John Anea for the Eagles.
Pretty quiet, hasn't he?
Well, Winmar has the ball about 30 metres from goal. The Saints have kicked 4-6. The West Coast have kicked 2 straight. Winmar shoots for goal. The ball goes across with the breeze. The goal umpire moving across and signals one behind. So I would think that Winmar would be disappointed with that shot. Should have perhaps converted. The kick in comes towards Worsfold, and he takes a good mark between the back pocket and half back flank. Plays on quickly, kicks it high, back in towards the centre. Marking contest, Lowy can't grab it. Wilson can't take it at the back. Pekin, Rice, Saints combined pretty well. Russo's in the centre and kicks it long in the Lockett direction. Lockett's got 2 on him again, but he gets it. Much to the thrill of the Saint fans. Gee, they've come in their droves here today to watch their stars perform in their first home match as Lockyer goes off and Irving comes back onto the ground. Lockett to shoot from 30 metres out directly in front. He's kicked 1. Lockett shot for goal. He's now kicked 2, and they're looming as a big threat to the Eagles.
2 to Lockett, 2 to Owen. St Kilda go further ahead, 5-7 to 2 goals.
So Tony Lockett kicks his second goal, and gee, they've got some problems. They did it pretty well in the first quarter, the Eagles, by having Brennan at full back and a player dropping back to make that space that Lockett runs into filled right up. But this second term, it's really becoming a bit of a threat for them.
18 minutes left in the term. St Kilda out of the centre again through Pickett, who I just about say has almost been a star today. Nixon's kicked a goal already. On the lead, Lockett again. And the forward line much more open for St Kilda in this quarter. The Eagles were able to bottle him up in the first term, not so far in the second.
Unselfish play there by Nixon to give Lockett a definite chance here.
Going for his 3rd and St Kilda's 6th. Three goals to Tony Lockett. It's a cakewalk so far for the Saints. 43 plays 12.
Well, I think everybody's aware how important it is to get the ball out of the centre, and the Saints are doing it with a lot of success at the moment. Tim Pekin doing pretty well, and Kitchke and Winmar pretty happy with themselves as the ball comes back for the next bounce.
Pekin's had 10 possessions.
Yes, and he's done it pretty well. So umpire Chris Mitchell now to restart play. The Eagles have got a man up at that centre bounce. Here's a chance for them. Lewis, punched on by Scott, kicked out of mid-air by Lowy, gathered by Harvey, gets it out to Nixon. Nixon's kick is chopped off. Worsfold couldn't control the ball. It comes out wide toward Pios. Well tackled by Rice. No, free kick been picked out of it. There's advantage. No, it's going to the Eagles. Nixon looking as though it may have been one of his teammates who was being awarded the free kick, but it goes back to Pios at half-back. Pios now, a high kick in towards the centre. No mark taken. Mainwaring attempted kick out of there by Lewis. Now he gets the hand pass out to Lamb. Lamb's high kick. Not much method in that. Just bombing away up towards full forward. Wilson runs onto it. Shrugs one tackle. Langdon. Here's an opportunity for Anea. Onto the right foot. Anea goals.
Anea started on the bench. A badly needed one. If in fact it's to be a goal.
It's a free kick being picked out. Who's it going to? Against Langdon, going to Laurie.
You can see that.
Well, Langdon's been fired up since right from the start. Was in a few of the severe bumps in the first quarter. Laurie's kick out towards half-back. Nobody can take the mark. Russo tries to get a hand pass back towards Pekin. He's still struggling hard, Peter Russo. Now the ball comes to Kitchke. He tries to get it towards Rice. Rice is hemmed in. Somehow gets out of it and kicks it high in towards centre half-back. Jeffrey's under pressure. Ugle over the top. Takes a great mark at centre half forward for the Eagles. He plays on. Gets the hand pass to Rance. Rance goes for goal with a drop punt and kicks a goal for the Eagles. Great kick, Murray Rance. And that's the Eagles' third goal.
Did they need that one? 3 goals to the West Coast Eagles, but they trail St Kilda 6-7.
Well, it's still a game, I would think, because if you can get the ball out of the centre, the emphasis on the ruckman and the ruck rovers around that centre bounce, and 2 or 3 quick goals, and all of a sudden it's a ball game. 6-7 plays 3 goals. The Saints 43 lead the West Coast 18.
So decisions really have cost the Eagles a couple of goals. It's thumped away down there by Scott. Onto Langdon. Straight arm tackles aren't allowed. And just elaborating on that, Owen got one from a 50-metre penalty, and John Anea was robbed of one, so 12 points. The Eagles could be closer, but for decisions. However, that's history and that's umpiring. Harding. Burke. Close to the boundary, but in front of Murray Rance. St Kilda so far more methodical. Big pack of players. Winmar hemmed in. McKenna down. Nixon off the ground. It'll be out of bounds in front of Russo and Lamb.
Free kick to Nixon, Pete, for a trip.
So Nixon, who has kicked a goal. He booted one in the first quarter. One of only 3 St Kilda goal kickers. Lockett has 3. Nixon 1 and Owen 2 so far. You don't play Tony Lockett from behind.
Gee, that was a great mark. A real strong mark from the full forward.
6 marks so far to Lockett. 5 kicks, 1 hand pass, and he's kicked 3 goals so far. I would say on the way to another bag of 10 without too many problems. And he's doing it easily. Don't know about that one. Yes, it is. It's a goal. 4 to Tony Lockett. It brings up a smile. On the bit, the Saints are doing it at the moment. 7-7-49 against the lacklustre Eagles combination. 3 straight.
Yes, the Saints have got a few players that can probably contribute a little bit more. One in particular, Jimmy Cracker. If he starts to fire, well,
and
I don't know
Harvey
what,
too, Ian.
Yeah, Harvey's been pretty quiet. I don't know what Lockett will do if those 2 players come into it. The Eagles are struggling. Saints have had 14 shots so far in the match. They've kicked 7-7 to 3 goals, and they're back into attack again. Laidley's under pressure at half-back. He gathers pretty well. Gee, it was crude by Owen. Umpire allowed play to go on, but Owen made no attempt whatsoever to pick the ball up then.
Interesting stat, free kicks to St Kilda 18, free kicks to the Eagles 10.
Umpire Mitchell to bounce at half forward for St Kilda. Scott in front, gets the punch out. Rice has a chance. Gathers pretty well, Dean Rice, and gets the hand pass out to Pekin. Pekin's kick close to the line. Nearly the mark to McKenna over the top of Nixon. But the ball is stumped over for a boundary throw-in right on that 50-metre line. St Kilda into attack. Halfway through the second term, Owen over the top. Gets the tap out towards Winmar. Attempted kick off the ground by Worsfold. Gathered by Ugle. He's well tackled by Jimmy Cracker. Well tackled again by Jimmy Cracker. Good defensive work by the little fellow. The ball gets clear to Laidley. Here he comes again. He applies another one. 3 good tackles by the little bloke. The ball comes back in towards the centre. Eagles player swamped there. Ania. Ball comes clear to Owen. Can't shrug the tackle. He's caught by Kemp. Ball goes out towards Burke. He's well tackled. Pressure is pretty good at half forward for St Kilda. Jimmy Cracker's taken to the ground. Umpire allows play to go on. Still a real struggle for possession. Dwayne Lamb gets clear and kicks the Eagles up towards half forward. But what a great mark at centre half back taken by Lowy. He gets the hand pass off. Devonport. The little chip goes towards Rice. Rice's kick further forward is effective. Pekin takes the mark on centre wing.
Pekin's been the start, 12 possessions so far.
Terrific player, Tim Pekin. He's going to get another one here. No, player's been held up against Dwayne Lamb, the free kick to go to Rice. 19
free kicks to 10 in favour of St Kilda. Over 60 consecutive games for the Saints. Dean Rice since season 1987 in round 5. Up towards right half forward flank. Is that a mark? No. Winmar. Harvey. He can get back into it. Look out, Eagles. Burke and Kemp. That's a free kick.
Played it pretty well there, young Kemp. See, he was going to be tackled and handballed it away, and the tackle when he didn't have it.
Rance couldn't mark. Langdon grabbed when he didn't have it. Not so, says the umpire. Ball scooped out to Russo, but the umpire has found an infringement, and it's going the Eagles' way.
Could have been deemed as throwing the ball there to get the ball out.
Ross Glendinning would say, back in Perth, a bit tiggy.
We have to give credit to the umpires. I think they're right down there, you know, pretty close to the action.
Yes, they are. But I think we're allowed an opinion, Ian. I hope we are. That's a beautiful kick. Magnificent kick. Up the half forward. Irving. Almost the grab. St Kilda in defence. They have the numbers through Pekin. The ex-Fitzroy star has been absolutely brilliant today. Worsfold, with the heavily bandaged thigh, leading the Eagles today in the absence of Malaxos. Wilson at centre field, marking in front of Jeffrey. But their trips forward have been few and far between. Only 3 goals straight so far. St Kilda, 14 effective scoring shots. Low again. When he gets his hand on it, no. Umpire didn't play that one. Probably a good decision. Thrown out by Jimmy Cracker on the blind side of the umpire. Grant, pushed down. Here he is again. Pekin. Back to Devonport. Back to Rice. This is the best St Kilda side I've seen for a long time. Scott down to Laidley. Down to Ugle. Russo tackled. The ball spills free. Kemp trying to do something with it through a big pack of players.
Gee, there was a couple of critical fumbles there by the Eagles. One in particular was by Ugle. They were in the clear if Ugle could have gathered that ball.
Lewis looking in a bit of trouble, Ian. Bounce in the centre again. Knocked down by Scott. Picked up by Paul Pios. Laidley, not Laidley, but Langdon. Kemp. Sumic has been well held down there by Frawley, but to be fair, he's had very few opportunities. It's not a bad sort of a kick. Low again, leading the St Kilda defence from the front. Almost backed himself back into trouble there, but Grant does the tidying up work.
And a nice little kick by Grant finds Rice. Rice has got no one really to kick to, so he bombs away towards centre half forward, and Ugle, anticipating, comes in and takes a good mark. Looking to give the hand pass off. Now, go direct, please. They do. Up towards half forward. Lamb. Not Lamb, Ania. The hand pass is wide. A little fortunate. Wilson fumbles. The fumbling is critical. Now a free kick. It's going back to Jeffrey for St Kilda in the centre. Didn't quite see what that was for, but Jeffrey will put St Kilda into attack. Umpire asking that player to kick over the man on the mark. Now he plays on and kicks it to the right half-forward area. Ugle in front, can't mark, but a great grab over the top taken by Owen. Authoritative grab by Rod Owen. Left foot kick, up towards Lockett. Jostling, takes the mark. Strong, has to be close to 18 stone. Very, very difficult to budge.
Lockett's taken 7 marks, Ian, and so too at the other end of the ground has Stuart Lowe. 14 between them.
So Lockett for goal number 5. Very close. The angle a little difficult. Makes no mistake. 5 goals to Tony Lockett. The Saints are 8 goals 7. 55 leading the West Coast. 3 goals straight 18.
Tony Lockett's best against the West Coast Eagles was 12 in round 9 of the 1989 season. He also kicked 7 in round 8 of the 87 season. Both of those matches were here at Moorabbin. The round 2 record for goals is held by Doug Strang of Richmond in 1931. That was 14. The Saints on the bit against the Eagles, who have been going like the Leyland brothers. Low again. Cracker, his opposite number 3, Mainwaring, has the ball. And I think we'll see a stalemate. In fact, that's how the umpire has seen it. And it will be a bounce just off the edge of the centre square. A few metres in St Kilda's attacking area. Under 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Kitchke, Cracker, Worsfold. Good effort to get it away from Winmar. He's done well on him so far. I think I would say one of the West Coast Eagles' few winners.
They've had a few more kicks in this second term. It's 101 to 79 so far. St Kilda's favour.
Neither ruckman doing much with it. Jeffrey, Cracker, Winmar, 3 Aboriginal boys combining. He keeps going. Jimmy. So too to the Saints forward, Harvey. It's beaten for it though by Pios. Lovely sidestep. Bit of class, that fellow. Was in the Eagles' first ever side. Pekin takes the crumbs beautifully. Brennan and Lockett. Lockett will kick it off the ground. Number 6 to Plugger.
61 plays 18 in the second term here at Moorabbin, and St Kilda doing it pretty well. Bowie comes onto the field in place of Russo as Lockett kicks his 6th goal. And how do you stop this man? In the air, leading from short passes, and now kicking it off the ground.
Well, Peter Russo must be a little unfortunate. He's had 11 kicks and 4 hand passes, and he gets dragged.
Now, there might be something wrong with him. We don't know, I guess. Kitchke and Irving do the ruck work. Anea caught, but he gets his kick away. Wilson attempts to gather the ball at centre half forward for the Eagles, and one wonders what they can do to stem this Saints onslaught. They've had 16 shots to 3. St Kilda's favour. They're 9-7 to 3 goals straight. The bounce, Scott thumped away by Harding. Langdon can't get clear. Pike's in the action. Mainwaring can't get clear. St Kilda's tackling and defensive work pretty good. They'll get out of this through Pekin. Pekin gets it away. Laurie, sweeping hand pass. Bowie into the action pretty quickly. Kicks it towards half forward. It goes over for Owen. The bounce is favourable. Owen's left foot shot is close, just misses to the left. And through for St Kilda's 8th behind. 9-8 plays 3 goals straight. St Kilda comfortably in the second term.
44 points the difference. And the Eagles will have to get a rattle on if they're to get back into this match. Rice in front of Pios. And Pios should have tried to punch from there instead of trying to outmark his opponent, surely. Dean Rice, centering kick. Kitchke.
Played well. He's played a lot better today than last week.
Didn't see him last week. What did he do?
Obviously finding his feet. That the first match, perhaps the tempo a little bit difficult for him to pick up, but today doing very, very well. 6 kicks, 7 hand passes, and that was his 3rd mark.
Let's see what sort of a kick he is. He'll be about 40 metres out. Should get the distance. Hit the post. Did it not? No, it's a goal. Just scraped in Kitchke's first, St Kilda's 10th. 10-8, 68 to 3 goals, 18 points.
Well, you wondered what sort of kicking ability that man had. That was a beautiful kick. The breeze holding it up, and it only just made the distance, but the accuracy was spot on. So Kitchke kicks his first goal, and the Saints go further ahead. Eagles
at home. Not much to speak of when they're away. Kitchke taps it out again. Burke. Will he give it to Bowie, who's just come on to replace Peter Russo? I must admit, so far I'm very disappointed with the Eagles today after watching them last week at Subiaco against Collingwood. They certainly looked the goods. Today they look awful. Jeffrey. Bowie. Good tackle by Mainwaring. That's a free kick.
Going to Bowie.
To Jeffrey. He's been impressive. Lockett from the back. No mark.
Oh, I'd have nearly paid that.
No way.
I'd have nearly paid, yes. He's paid the mark because when he jumped, he was the only man to touch it with one hand. He came down and had another grab at it, and I think his third grab certainly indicated that he had the ball. One grab,
well,
second grab,
I thought the Eagles player had a hand
grab.
on that. That's why I said I didn't think it was a mark. The umpire obviously disagreed with the first part of it. Otherwise, I'd agree with you, Ian. So Peter Carey paying the mark to Tony Lockett, who's got 6, and he's been brilliant so far. You could put the rent on him getting 10 today. He's got 7. Not bad before half-time, remember?
Peter, last Sunday night I spoke to Travis Pays, who's the president here at St Kilda, and he mentioned that in about 5 weeks' time, when this guy gets fit, he could kick 20 goals.
Oh, well,
I think he might do it today when he's not fit.
I said that a couple of seasons back, that one day Lockett will get a record. Fanning holds the record of 18. And you have to say that he and or Jason Dunstall would be on the cards to break it. Back into the centre again. Lockett on fire, so are the Saints. Kitchke taps it down. The Eagles nowhere to be seen at the moment. Devonport, a wild hand pass, but it's a scramble at midfield until Mainwaring finally boots it up towards the full forward position for the Eagles. Grant nearly throws it out. Anea gets scragged as he kicked. He could get another kick, will he? No. One behind. Started on the bench, John Anea. A point to the Eagles. That's their, or a behind, that's their first. 3-1. They've kicked only 2-1 in this quarter with the breeze. St Kilda have added 7 goals, 2 against it. Wilson and Lowe. Pios and Lowe. Lowe looking for a free kick. There is none there. Anea's kick bounces just inside the boundary line. Millimetres in favour of the Eagles, so boundary throw in just inside 50. Left half forward flank for the Eagles. A trip to Melbourne so far that they'd want to forget. Scott down to Ugle. Lowe. Kemp and Burke. And Nathan Burke will win out. I don't think Brennan will catch him. Back to Jeffrey or Harding. Was he grabbed? He was, Paul Harding.
Gee, good play there by Nathan Burke to worry young Kemp out of it.
3.5 minutes left before half-time. Ugle, almost a mark, almost grabbed. Guy McKenna, best and fairest for the Eagles last year. Burke and Kemp again. Burke's had the honours in that duel so far. Nixon and Laidley. Up to half forward. And the Eagles manning up. It's Ugle. After Harvey was a little bit slow to get rid of it.
She had no hope then.
Pekin onto Grant Laurie, the former Fitzroy players combining. Oh, Jimmy Cracker on his own. Now Brad William comes well over the mark. Bowie got a fingernail to it. Worsfold. The Eagles at the moment in disarray. Lockett, strength, kicks, but misses. So we're behind St Kilda. 2.5 minutes before half-time. 75 plays 19.
I don't know whether it's so much St Kilda's score, it's the West Coast. They've only been able to have 4 shots at goal. A pathetic effort so far in this match. Mainwaring gets through. Rice persists. and affects the kick beautifully. Scott picks it up in the centre, kicks towards centre half forward, and a great mark taken by Lowy. What hands that man's got. Grant, a little chip kick over the top, Devonport. He goes over the top. Laurie, short pass, a little too short. Lamb picks it up nicely and kicks the Eagles back into attack. Up towards half forward. Chance for Pike. Hustling and bustling as Grant at half back. Effective little kick. Laurie at half back. Kicks St Kilda back into attack. McKenna takes a good mark. Just bumping his opponent Nixon out of the play and kicks it back in towards the centre where Scott takes the mark for the Eagles. Phil Scott now. High kick. Again, not much method. Nearly a mark there to Brennan. Oh, gathered there by the Eagles at half forward, and he's well tackled. Was it Sumich? No, Wilson. He was caught with the ball.
He was hit by his own man.
Bang to the ground. Umpire awards the free kick. Harding takes it, gets it off to Pekin. Pekin runs out towards half back after two bounces, kicks with the left foot up towards centre wing. Punched away by Jimmy Cracker. Again, good defensive work because he was in a bad position and knocks it over the boundary line for a throw in.
You'll see two Eagles. They clashed. 19 possessions to Tim Pekin. He's been brilliant so far. St Kilda again into attack up towards half forward. Lockett has it punched away on this occasion. Ugle may get there first. Bowie providing the opposition. Ball still in play. Lockett turned his back on it. Owen picks it up. Just about takes it out. In fact, it was out of bounds. Indicates the boundary umpire. Nearly in St Kilda's right forward pocket. Rod Owen has kicked 2 goals, both of them in the first quarter. And both of them before Tony Lockett had his first, and he's now got 7. McKenna to Worsfold. Despite opposition from Nicky, Winmar. Burke, oh gee, almost a miraculous mark running with the ball. Langdon. Low again. Oh, magnificent mark, that's his 9th. Kickers to half-back. Rice. I think that might be the siren, is it? No, yes it is. You don't hear the siren here, but the crowd did. St Kilda 11-9, 75, giving the Eagles at the moment a farther of a hiding, 3-1-19. We begin the second half at Moorabbin. Lockett has 7 on the board. The Eagles trailing by 56 points. Be hard to see them come back. Funnier things have happened. Thump away by, it was Scott, Langdon, Kitschke, Cracker. Gee, they look like Hawthorn the way they move the ball. Knocked away by Grilliam. Good tackle by Ugle, and the ball spills free for Russo, but the umpire says a push in the back.
Well, I didn't think it was a very good tackle at all. Owen was falling to the ground when he picked the ball up, and the guy from the West Coast Eagles had to be very, very careful in this instance, and it was really crude, I thought, all the way through.
Rod Owen kicked 2 goals in the first half. In actual facts, they were both in the first quarter. He got the first goal of St Kilda after Langdon got first goal for the Eagles. Chance for 3 to make the difference more than 10 goals. Rod Owen, 35 metres out. The crowd likes it. That means it's a goal here at Moorabbin. You wouldn't want to be an Eagles supporter here this afternoon. 12-9, 81. It's a slaughter. 3-1-19, the Eagles.
Well, pretty good value, Rod Owen, up in that forward line. He's a very, very good alternative for Lockett. If you put too much emphasis on the big fellow at full forward, and it just gives Owen that little bit of breathing space. He's kicked 3, and as I said, he's a pretty good backup for the key forward in Tony Lockett.
9 possessions to Rod Owen so far. As Ian mentioned, he's kicked 3 goals, and the rot continues. 81 plays 19.
And this will be interesting to see what happens here at St Kilda, that have had too many in that square. So the free kick goes to Scott. Scott kicks the Eagles up towards half forward. A big punch away, but obviously interference in the marking contest, and it looks as though the free kick has been given against Danny Frawley. His head goes down, and a bit of a shake towards umpire Chris Mitchell. The free kick to go to Sumich. Frawley standing right on the 50-metre line. So Sumich, you'd need a good kick to score from here. He goes for the torpedo punt kick. It comes off. There's a mark right in that last line of defence to Kitchke, and it's a pretty good one. He gets the hand pass off to Laurie. Laurie's long kick out towards the wing. Rice just interferes with Pios enough to get the Eagles player out of it. The hand pass from Scott goes to Wilson. Wilson's little pass is pretty good, and the mark has been taken there by Lockyer. Lockyer now, a long kick by that player into the left forward pocket, coming out and taking a strong mark as Kitchke. His confidence grows as the game goes on. The kick wide towards Nixon. No one can take the mark. Rice is hard up against the boundary line with Pios, and the ball is first over the boundary line for a throw-in.
In the goal square back there, Ian, I noticed Brennan wearing a rather large bandage, and of course he started on Lockett, the bandage on the leg, so maybe he's not fit as well. Beautiful smother down there by Lowe off the McKenna kick, but it comes back to Mainwaring from left half-back flank. Langdon is the flyer to take the mark. Carl Langdon, centering kick from the blonde forward. Knock on by Lockyer after it was missed by Sumich. Devonport does the tidying up work to St Kilda with a long spiral punt kick, 2-on-1 in favour of the Eagles, but it's left to Harvey. He misses it. Laidley doesn't. Nearly dragged down, picked up by Scott. The clearing kick towards the boundary line. Might be a bit too close for even Pekin. Did he run out of space? No, he didn't. And he's been one of the stars off the half-back line today for St Kilda. Former Fitzroy player, but Brad William stands his ground well to take the mark.
Poor kick in the finish by Pekin.
Let down the good work upfield, didn't it? Brad William, haven't seen much of him today, has had a stint on the bench. Is that a free kick against Wilson? No, says the umpire. Kitchke, he's covering a lot of ground. He's taken 2 marks in defence. Oh, Ugle, he misjudged that completely. Ranch in front of Lockett. Gets ridden into the ground on the shoulder, says the umpire. The Saints fans can't complain about the freeze, currently standing 25-15.
Well, that was a bit ticky Touchwood, I felt. Lockett being a little careful with the tackle, but Rance has the ball in the back pocket, and he plays on quickly, kicks it high out towards half-back. No mark taken. Picking it up nicely was Mainwaring, and he kicks it towards centre-half forward. At the back, Ania gathers, but he can't break away. Lowy playing a magnificent game at centre-half back for St Kilda. Impassable in size, in height, in every facet of the game, Stuart Lowy. And strong play at centre-half back. He gets the free kick and kicks the Saints towards centre-half forward. Winmar flies too early, and if that should be a free kick, it's been marked by Wilson, but it'll be a free kick. It'll go back to Ugle at centre-half back. Now he gives the hand pass away, and through Worsfold, the ball comes wide towards the wing. Kemp can't mark. Harvey slips the hand pass to Russo. Back it goes to Harvey. At centre-half forward, Robert Harvey should goal, and does so. Great play by Harvey.
Harvey's first goal. The Eagles nonplussed, 13-9, 87 to 3-1-19.
Well, you can't beat teamwork in this great game of ours, Australian rules football, and the Saints are using it everywhere, on every line, and their punches backing up, just sheer persistence. The ball finishes with Harvey, and he kicks a great goal.
Only 5 St Kilda players have scored goals, but of course Tony Lockett has 7 out of their total of 13. Scott wins it in the ruck, tries to get it down to Wilson. Pios, a good hand pass, back to Wilson. Winmar in pursuit. Ania over his head. Chance for Brennan now on the forward line, but looking proppy with that thigh bandage. Sumich behind 2 St Kilda players. Langdon for his second, a fresh air shot. Low again. Impassable, as Ian mentioned, on the half-back line. He's done a magnificent job. The hand pass comes out to Grant. And St Kilda, the half-back line, are really providing for them a springboard to attack. Owen was up in a big pack of players, couldn't mark it, but they've got backup support everywhere. This is Jeffrey on left centre wing. He had an outstanding first quarter. Nixon over the boundary line. Guy McKenna. Now can the Eagles get clear again? Scott in all sorts of, or pressured well. Kemp, McKenna, good tackle Nixon. Worsfold. Down to right half forward, that's a free kick, that was late. Lockyer will take it. Looks for Sumich, who backs back beautifully to mark. A little bit better judgment then than Frawley, who of course missed the side's game last week at the Western Oval. Now Sumich will get the distance. He kicked 6 goals 3 last week in a good effort against Collingwood. Should have kicked a lot more. His kicking, as you would probably realise from 6-3, did let him down a little bit. He doesn't know the breeze here at Moorabbin at all. One behind. 1-1 his tally so far. 3-2 the West Coast Eagles. St Kilda leading by 10 goals 7.
Harding kicks the ball back into play for St Kilda. The ball drops in short, goes through Kemp, Grant and Lowy. Now the ball comes out towards Kemp again. Little left foot pass. Oh, chipping in brilliantly is Rice. Rice's kick. He looks for Winmar. Winmar looks brilliant whenever he goes near the ball. The left foot kick by Winmar. Lockett can't mark. Punched away nicely. Cracker at the base of the pack. The kick across his body. Up to in the forward pocket area. Owen takes the mark, but in doing so takes it over for a behind to St Kilda. 13-10 the Saints. West Coast 3-2. Murray Rance at full-back now on Tony Lockett. Lockett kicked 7 goals in the first half, 6 in the second quarter. Rance's kick comes to the members' side, punched out by Nathan Burke, and boundary throw in about 55 metres around from the St Kilda goal. Lockett not far away from the action, adjusting his lace on the left foot. Big punch by Scott. Cracker can't get out. Harvey tries to get clear. A real struggle at half forward for St Kilda, and umpire Carey calls for a bounce. St Kilda well in control in the third term here at Moorabbin. Pretty important game for both sides. St Kilda, their first home match of the season after thrashing Footscray last week, and the Eagles their first match on the Eastern Seaboard after thrashing Collingwood last Sunday over in Perth. Again the ball rushed over the boundary line. There's Jimmy Cracker in the picture. Hasn't been quite as effective as he was last week, but still a key player. He's had 7 kicks and 4 hand passes. Scott gets the tap down to McKenna. McKenna to Anir. He's caught by Pekin. Lamb gets a quick kick out of it. Comes back in the Kitschke direction. Hand passes off to Burke. Burke goes further back. The Saints have lost a bit of ground, but now they gain it. A magnificent kick by Devonport. No one home for St Kilda. Laidley takes the mark at centre half back for the Eagles.
Dean Laidley kicks it back. Langdon 1-on-2 sandwiched. Would have been a good mark had he taken it. Laurie hurried hand pass to Devonport. Harvey looking for space. Nearly caught with the ball, Robert Harvey. Nixon palms it down. Lamb, Anir. John Anir from half-back. Formerly Collingwood and Richmond. Oh, geez, great attempt to mark by Wilson. Obviously not the mark. He's paid the free kick for interference. Wilson onto the run of John Anir, inside 50. And through for only 1 behind. When a goal, need I say it, would have been more than useful. So 3 goals, 3, 21. Disgraceful performance so far by the Eagles. They've been totally outclassed here. I don't think Mick Malthouse would be too impressed at the moment with their efforts today, especially after a great first-up win at home last week at Subiaco. But that's football. Grant. His hand pass wasn't a particularly good one. Finally, it comes out to Laidley from Anir. Langdon takes the mark. Scott, well tackled by Devonport. Langdon in trouble. The umpire calls play on. Laurie does. Now Pekin, who was a star in the first half at half-back. Lockett.
It all came, Peter, from absolutely wonderful play down on that St Kilda full-back line. 2 or 3 players just having a bit of a dip. One of them was Devonport. The tackle was great. And when you can get the ball into the clear, what happens? It comes up here with Pekin. His great pass. Lockett's a chance to kick his 8th.
His best effort against the Eagles was 12 here at Moorabbin in round 9 of 1989. This is his second best effort now, because he's got another one. Goal number 8 to Tony Lockett for a total of 18 for the season. 14-10 to 3-3.
Well, I don't know whether we can get back as far as the full back line in that passage of play, but Grant Laurie's kick comes up towards half forward. A little bit of fortune there, I suppose, that the ball came to the back, but Peakin's easy kick gave Lockett a great chance to take the mark on his chest, and he converted well. The Saints go marching on in the third term here at Moorabbin. High over the top was Harding. The ball comes out towards Burke, but he's helped out by Winmar. This man always looks great. Pass is perfect. Good lead by Owen, and he takes the mark at centre half forward. Where's Lockett? Everyone gets their eyes onto the big man.
Very open down there.
Owen goes for the long bomb. It might even carry Lockett. No, he's going to mark it anyway.
Freak. No, he's paid.
Oh, it's a definite mark. Certainly no interference, just a bit of a jostle in the contest there with Rance. Lockett hard up against the boundary line. May run around to favour the right foot. Coming up for his 9th. Just advantageous there, the angle, but the kick, a poor one this time by Tony Lockett, and it's through for a behind. So 8 goals, 3 is tally so far in that score line of 14-11 for the Saints, and a miserable effort by the West Coast. They're only 3-3-21.
Murray Rance, last year's captain, to kick the ball back. He's been given the chance by Mick Malthouse to try to curb the brilliance of Lockett. Jeffrey was the flyer for St Kilda. Peakin from Nathan Burke. Down to the goal square again. This should be another one. No, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Well, he and Cracker, they could have rattled it.
There wasn't much understanding there. I think Tony Lockett could have shepherded and given Jimmy Cracker the opportunity to run straight into an open goal.
And that might be being hypercritical. Laidley's hand pass. Real underground one to Rance. Oh, Winmar. Cracker. Scooped out to Nixon, but right on the boundary line, tries to get around Lamb. Lockett, that's a better hand pass to Owen. Around Ugle for another one. Owen's 4th. What a hiding for the Eagles. 15-11, 101 to 3-3-21.
I don't think there's anything worse than coming down here and being humiliated. The Saints supporters, they've turned out in big numbers here to watch their team, and they're not letting them down. Unselfish play there by Lockett to give Owen an easy opportunity, and Owen kicks his 4th goal.
St Kilda's greatest winning margin against the Eagles was 48 points back in 1987. You can put the house on the fact that they'll do better than that this afternoon. Their highest ever score was in 1989 when they kicked 18-10. I think they'll better that today too. Already 15-11. 80 points the difference in favour of St Kilda. Who's going to get it out of the centre? Jeffrey to Burke. No, it's not Burke. It's finally taken away by Jeffrey again after it came from Russo. And the mark is taken by Brad William over the top of Rod Owen.
Well, I don't know whether I'd want to be Mickey Malthouse. I don't know whether there's much they can do. They're just being completely outclassed. Devonport sweeping hand pass to Harding. Laurie could be caught, but he ducks nicely back to Grant. And with a succession of hand passes and ducking and weaving, the Saints get into the clear. Nixon at half forward. There's a player in support. There's Rice. Rice goes for goal. Lockett at the back. A little too high, through for a behind to St Kilda.
I'll tell you what, Ian, it's pretty poor manning up by the Eagles at the moment, though.
Well, that's what happens. You witnessed a game last night where Richmond were very, very ordinary in that facet of the game in North Melbourne. Well, today's football, they're all so talented that if you don't man up, the opposition cut you apart. Rance's kick, he hooks across it. McKenna takes the mark at half-back and plays on. He gets around Harding. Guy McKenna, now the hand pass over the top to Mainwaring. Mainwaring just chips it away to Kemp. Kemp's on centre wing, gathers pretty well. Looking further afield, the kick slews off the side of his boot, but it's to the advantage of Brennan, who couldn't really control it. Good pressure there by Kitchke, and it's knocked over the boundary line for a throw-in just outside 50 metres. The Saint defence working overtime. They lead very, very easily, but they're working pretty hard. Lockyer now. Anir gets the hand pass out. Laidley's caught. The ball comes clear now at centre half forward. Good gather by Pike. Lowe leaves the chaser, but Pike's kick up to the full forward line. Chance for Brennan over his head, and he kicks a goal for the Eagles. Good play there by the Eagles to kick their 4th goal. It's been a long time coming, but they're 4-3-27 and they trail by 75 points. St Kilda 15-12, 102.
And Brennan having a few words as we watch in replay. Pike, who was benched after a slow start. Almost a good effort by Sumic against Frawley. And then the Eagles' 4th goal. Kicked by Brennan. 11 1/4 minutes left in this term. 102 plays 27. And again, neither side able to get it initially out of the centre. That was Rice's hand pass onto Ugle. Nixon. Oh, here they come again. Pekin. Rance in front. Lockett has to defend. Russo looking for a free kick against Anea. The St Kilda crowd gives it to him. And the umpire concurs.
Well, umpire Mitchell in a great position there. He was only 5 metres, 8 metres out in front of Peter Russo, and certainly the free kick was there. Peter Russo perhaps making it look a little bit worthwhile, but he has the free kick only 25 to 30 metres out directly in front.
I was surprised when Russo was taken off the ground because he started really well. A lot of useful work around the ground, and he's capitalised there with the goal, putting through his first. St Kilda's 16th, 16-12 to 4-3.
I think sometimes, Peter, players are benched just for the balance of the side. I didn't quite see myself why Russo was taken off, but sometimes it's for the evenness of the team, and they perhaps could see Bowie being of some sort of advantage being on the ground.
Russo's first goal, 10 1/2 minutes left in this quarter, 108 now to 27.
Harding dominating the centre bounces. Cracker gets the ball out. Worsfold on one leg takes the mark at centre half back. Worsfold kicks out wide looking for Langdon. Laurie a little late on the scene. Langdon takes a good mark in front of the St Kilda defender. Langdon is at half back, so the Eagles really struggling. Their forward line having to come all that way down the ground to get a kick. Langdon kicks it back towards centre half forward. The big hands of Stuart Lowy. Gets the hand pass off to Harding. Harding under pressure, but he kicks quickly up towards Nixon. He's bumped out of it by McKenna. McKenna called to play on now. Back onto the left foot. He just kicks it over the top of the head of Rice. Out in front of Mainwaring. Mainwaring forced to kick with the left foot. In towards the forward pocket area. Sumic can't mark. Frawley's there. Backed up well now by Grant. Grant's bustled out of it by Brennan. And a real struggle for possession about 25 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Umpire Mitchell calls for a bounce. The Saints 16-12, 108. West Coast 4-3-27. West Coast an opportunity to kick their 5th. They've been few and far between. The kick high in towards the opposite forward pocket. The bounce favours Laurie, and he just thumps it over the boundary line for another throw-in. And it's about 35 to 40 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Carl Langdon there in the picture with Grant Laurie. Johnny Anea picked up by Devonport. Pike picked up by Grant. Ruck contest over the back Lockyer. Langdon runs onto it. He can't get clear. Pike will have a snapshot, and it's a great little snap by Pike because it's the West Coast 5th goal.
And Pike's first goal for the match. 5 goals for the Eagles have been kicked by 5 different players. 16-12 to 5-3.
Bit difficult to pick up whether those kicks are accurate because there's no response whatsoever from the crowd here at Moorabbin. There must be 96% of them following St Kilda.
How about 99.9?
Yes, well, I don't suppose there's too many Eagles supporters, and not many cheers when Don Pike brought up the Eagles' 5th goal.
8 1/2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 108 now to 33. Out of the centre, Dwayne Lamb for the Eagles. Could be an awkward bounce. Let's see how Brennan handles it. With that thigh bandaged, Kitchke has it tapped underneath him. Devonport gets ridden into the ground. That's got to be a free kick to Grant. Just up from the right back pocket. Harding on his own. I spoke about poor manning up earlier. Oh, Harding unloads on that one. Ooh, could have been against Russo for a high tackle. The advantage rule played to the Eagles. Troy Ugle goes across the ground. It's been the story of their play today. They really have gone zigzag here at Moorabbin. Kemp just off the edge of the square. Short pass. Intended for Pike, knocked away by Grant, picked up by Lamb. He was tackled high. Nothing for it, says the umpire. Interesting. Laurie tries to effect a hand pass. Kemp comes in for the Eagles. Lockyer looking for a free kick for holding the ball.
And again, good work by the St Kilda defence. A couple of times the Eagles looked as though they may have been able to break clear there, but good persistence has kept the ball at centre half forward for the Eagles, about 50 metres from their goal. Over the top, Lockyer gets the tap, but it's not all that effective, and the umpire will call for another bounce. 108 plays 33, 28 scoring shots to 8, and that really is the sad story for the Eagles on their visit here to Moorabbin. A free kick being picked out of the ruck contest. It'll go to Harding, and they've really lost in all facets this afternoon. Paul Harding, who at one stage looked as though he was going back over the border to perhaps play with the Eagles, but the Saints have been able to retain him. His short pass finds Jeffrey. Jeffrey transfers play out to the members' side. Owen blocks it pretty well, but Kemp picks it up. Hand passes to no one in particular. Nathan Burke, assisted by Winmar. Winmar goes to ground, and that's an incident where I can't understand the consistency of the umpires. Sometimes they give a free kick against the player hovering over the ball, and on other occasions they come in and elect to bounce the ball. Still, umpire Mitchell bounces nicely. Langdon over the top, punches in favour of Lamb. Lamb kicks it towards full forward. The bouncing ball collected by Grant, does it pretty well, and goes onto the left side to keep it close to the boundary line, and forces it eventually over for a boundary throw in, about 45, perhaps a little closer to the Eagles' goal, 40 metres from their goal. We've got just under 6 minutes left in this third quarter.
The boundary throw in. It's a scramble down there, untidy passage of play. Devonport and Bretton. Boundary umpire might be in the action again.
Good play by Devonport, persisting again.
He's played well today. First time I've seen him, Ian.
A promising young player, has been grounded well in the under-19s and reserves here at St Kilda.
13 possessions he's had so far, and looks like he's going to fill that back pocket for quite some time. Wilson. Laurie. Oh, that was pretty crude from Pios. Not too much doubt about that being a free kick.
Gee, the St Kilda players were looking for the advantage rule there. Grant Laurie on his all fours.
We'll be seeing a few stars. Burke to Rice. The Twins across the half-back line. Dean Rice, not having missed a game since 1987 in round 5. Played over 60 consecutive ones for the Saints, and doing it well again this afternoon. Good tackle by Tony Lockett. Ball on the bottom of the pack. Ugle tries to get it out. Some desperation from both sides. Lockett, where did he come from? Rance, who was moved onto the St Kilda star after half-time. Irving tried to tap it out. Opportunity now for Owen again, with strength. Shoots and hits the post. Halfway up.
He wasn't too keen on having a look for any hand passes there, Rod. Owen grabbed the ball and lined it up pretty quickly. But still, forwards are forwards, I guess.
That's why they're there. 16-13 to 5-3. Rance favouring the grandstand side, looking for Irving, low over the top, grabs mark number 11. St Kilda fans looking for 50.
That's an interesting incident there that we've just seen. Lowe took the mark, he's held by Irving, and he tries to shrug the tackle off. Now that's exactly what Lockett did last year on McKenna, and he got rubbed out for 6 weeks for doing it.
Except McKenna was knocked out.
So does that make any difference?
Theoretically it shouldn't, I suppose, Ian. Ugle to Worsfold, who doesn't look fit. He came out with that bandage at the start of play, and we noticed when he came out after half-time looked a little proppy too. Grant sees the ball over the boundary line in front of Pike. Don't know whether Pike thought it was a free kick or not, surely.
Played pretty well, Grant too, across that half-back line.
I'll tell you what, they haven't had too many players down. They've won just about in every position today, St Kilda. Anea paddles it in front of him to try to get it away from Cracker. Dwayne Lamb, well tackled by Russo. Loose ball. 3 Eagles are down there. Pike tries to get it out. I think it was Pike on the bottom of the pack. Past McKenna. Oh, low, steaming past. Here they come again. Harvey. Back to Winmar. That'll go close.
Hit the post.
Shaved it. Extra coat of paint did the job. Another behind to St Kilda. 16-11, 16-14. Eyes are failing. 5-3-33 the Eagles.
Not often you see 16 goals kicked by St Kilda, and still Winmar yet to kick a goal, and Jimmy Cracker yet to kick a goal. The kick falls short. Owen, now he gives the hand pass off to Winmar. Speak too soon. No, Winmar's kick. A bad hook. And he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
He never looked like it with that one, did he?
No, kicking very quickly there, Nicky Winmar, but kicking it out of bounds, and the free kick goes back to Murray Rance. 16-14, plays 5-3. Rance in the back pocket, kicks it out towards half-back, no one home. Oh, terrible stuff. Lowy takes mark number 12, kicks it towards Lockett, no mark. McKenna just gets his left foot to the ball, and all McKenna can do is hook it over the boundary line for another throw-in. So it's within goal-scoring distance for St Kilda. They've kicked 5 goals, 5 in this third quarter. The Eagles have kicked 2 goals, 2.
Nearly their best third quarter against the Eagles. Their best so far, 5-4 in 1987. Maybe they can better that. They've got a bit of time left. Pios just up from the back pocket, goes for distance with the kick. Jeffrey underneath the ball with Wilson. Tries to trap it. Wilson almost traps him. What's the umpire going to do here? A bounce.
Terrific contest there. Jeffrey striving hard to stop Wilson from getting clear with the ball, and a bounce is a good result for the Saints.
Inside the square. Thumped away by Wilson. Cracker grab. Did he have possession? Umpire said he didn't. Bit of experience there from Jimmy Cracker. That got him the free kick. Russo. Burke. Harvey. Outside 50. The hand pass comes to Lowe. Back to Russo. He'll have a shot. He's usually a good kick on the run. Usually. I'm glad I qualified it. Let me down, Peter. One behind. 16-15 to 5-3. A minute 4 left in the term.
I'm sure we should give up tipping on those circumstances, Pete.
They always do it, don't they?
Unbelievable.
Worsfold and Burke. So maybe they won't get their best third quarter against the Eagles. They've got to add one more behind. And it looks as though time might beat them. It's out of bounds now. Left half forward flank for St Kilda, who today have done a little wrong. I'm impressed, and I know Ian is too, as we await the boundary throw-in. Lowe and Irving, and again pumped out of bounds.
So some non-productive stuff close to the three-quarter time siren here at Moorabbin. St Kilda well in control. Lowy over the top. Russo goes to Jimmy Cracker. In turn to Nixon. He's well tackled by McKenna. Ball free at centre half back. Ugle shrugs the tackle. Sweeping hand pass to Anea. He goes further afield to Wilson. Wilson after one bounce goes long. The kick slews slightly off the side. Langdon gathers pretty well in the forward pocket. He's tackled well. There's the siren. Three-quarter time at Moorabbin, and St Kilda hold a commanding lead. The Saints 16-15, 111. West Coast 5-3-33.
Big booster for them. Umpire Peter Carey picks up the ball to start proceedings. The Saints going for their greatest winning margin over the Eagles and their highest score. They've got the former. Can they get the latter? Jeffrey. Ball socket away. Inside 50. Low. Back to Devonport. And a well-directed kick. And there's another player with a bandage. It's the walking wounded out there. Now it's Paul Pios. That's 3 of them with thigh bandages. That surely will be on the shoulder. Jeffrey. And gets the hand pass away to Stuart Lowe, who again today has knocked up taking marks at half back. Out it comes to Ugle. Umpire says a throw. It's rather harsh. And Russo will take the free kick. He's got to bring it back. Umpire's whistled time on.
Jeffrey still a little crook behind play. One of the trainers calling for some attention from the boundary line.
He got that high tackle, didn't he?
Yes, he went down and he's got up okay, but he's still favouring his leg.
Now a play on call. Winmar. Oh, gee, what a kick. Lockett, almost. Ugle. Worsfold, another of the walking wounded. And there are 3 off him. The other bandaged player is Brennan. He started on Tony Lockett at full back. Well, I guess because of the injury and because of Lockett kicking goals, whichever, maybe both, he was moved to the forward line and finished up kicking a goal. Look at Worsfold. If he's fit, I'm a Dutchman. Lockyer over the back. Wilson trying to find space, does so. Spiral punt kick up towards the edge of the square. Langdon fine mark. Now Carl Langdon not within kicking distance this time. Had his number taken earlier in the game after a late tackle, it would appear, on Tim Pegan. That's a towering kick. 2-on-1 in favour of St Kilda. No one can mark it. Ania slung to the ground by Harding. Devonport dragged off it when he didn't have it either. No free kick for either, and the umpire will bounce it.
The play only a matter of 20 metres from the Eagles' goal. Paul Harding, 6 kicks and 3 hand passes. Devonport, another possession. Kick around the corner, but chipping in front of his opponent. Pekin is Mainwaring. And Chris Mainwaring has had 14 kicks and 2 hand passes. Not a bad afternoon's work, but I feel that a lot of his kicks have been under pressure. This kick is long, just a little bit to the left and through for a behind to the Eagles. 5-4 is the West Coast scoreline, and St Kilda 16-15. So up at full-back, Grant Laurie, who's such a magnificent kicker of the football. Little short pass to Dean Rice. His kick is pretty effective. Lowy takes it, plays on quickly. Kicks a wobbly old punt kick up towards half forward. The forwards love those. Harvey dispossessed by Laidley. Laidley does it pretty well. Gets the hand pass over to Wilson. Wilson backs himself. A little bit selfish, but the ball comes to Worsfold at centre half forward. An up and under by Worsfold up towards full forward. Nearly the mark to Brennan. Langdon's there. Brennan again tries to tap it to the advantage of his side, but he runs it into the goalpost, and it's a behind to the score to the West Coast Eagles as Jeffrey limps off and he'll be replaced by Bowie. We've got 21 minutes left in this last quarter.
111-35 as Paul Harding takes the mark. Saints really have done nothing wrong here this afternoon, except 2 players colliding there. Nixon goes for the hand pass out to Nathan Burke. It's really been the only blemish on their play. Bowie, he was grabbed. Was he in possession? Is able to fire out the hand pass back to Burke. Still they come. Harvey looks for some space, almost gets tripped up by Laidley. Back it comes to Burke again, on to Rice, the defender. Will he kick a goal? Mainwaring. McKenna. And John Worsfold limps past. I don't know where he got that injury. He's had it all day. This is John Ania. A lot of players looking tired out there. Grant, and turn to Paul Harding. That's a high kick. Pekin. He's done nothing wrong all day either. Devonport. Short pass. Scott. Now to Worsfold again. This time gets it past Tim Pekin and Carl Langdon. Well, he played pretty well last week, Carl Langdon, and he certainly hasn't been the worst Eagles player here this afternoon. Sumich runs past. Grant does the tidying up work, as indeed he has done most of the afternoon on the half-back line. To Peter Felix Russo. From centre half-back, Mainwaring marking in front of Nicky Winmar. Not a good kick.
Yeah, I think the St Kilda supporters are becoming a bit frustrated because their team have led comfortably since perhaps half-time, and they've just wasted opportunities by fiddling around, according to them. Here's a free kick given to Harding at full-back. His left foot pass is effective. Burke should have perhaps been warded the mark, but Kemp with persistence, good play, gets around onto the right foot, kicks it up towards half forward. No one home. Grant gathers, but he's well tackled by Langdon. A kick by Pike is pretty close. It goes through for a behind. St Kilda supporters screaming for some sort of acknowledgement from the umpires, I would suggest, but couldn't quite see anything in those incidents. So a behind on the scoreline for the West Coast. They're 5-6-36, trailing St Kilda 16-15, 111. 19 minutes left in the match. Kick out by Rice towards Russo, and good contesting work there by Kemp. Forces the ball over for a boundary throw-in, about 60 metres. It's coming back nearer to the 50-metre line. It's about 55 metres around from the Eagles' goal as Devonport comes off to give Kane Taylor his first taste of football this afternoon. Taylor, who has been on the interchange bench, a kick towards full forward. Kitchke gathers pretty well, gets the hand pass out wide. Opportunity now for Rice. 2 bounces by Dean Rice. Kicks the ball in towards the centre. Big punch away by Ugle. Anir could be tackled by Taylor, but he gets away onto her right foot. Anir's kick towards full forward. Oh, St Kilda players crunch into each other again. At centre half back, Lowy gets the ball out wide. Good gather by Pekin. Sweeping hand pass to Russo. He elects to go to the other side. Burke's kick up towards half forward. No mark taken. Bowie at the base, which is good. Lockett. Crash goes Lockett. Down goes a couple of Eagles players. Owen has held, but he didn't have it. And Owen, right in front of umpire Carey, will receive the free kick 40 metres from goal, directly in front.
No doubt about that. Pretty hard to grab Rod Owen. He is very, very solid. He's kicked 4 too, Ian.
Yes, a pretty good alternative up on the forward line to the champion full forward Tony Lockett. Lockett 8-3.
Can't stop him, can you?
And Rod Owen, well, this will be a bit of a test because the wind is blowing from just over, well, from his left, from where he's kicking from, out to the left and pretty well into his face. High kick, holds up with the breeze. Punched away. McKenna. Now he gathers possession off to Scott. Scott at half back. Goes straight up the ground. Lowy, big punch from behind. Nearly the gather to Russo. Chance for Grant, who's done very well across the half back line. The kick up towards Winmar. He's pushed off it by Laidley. I would have thought that was all right. Laidley holding his ground, but Winmar has been awarded the free kick. So Winmar will kick St Kilda into attack.
And interestingly, Winmar still hasn't got a goal. With kicks like that, I suppose you don't wonder. This is Brad William from the left back pocket. Rice underneath it. The climb is from Peter Wilson. Low again. There's nothing wrong today, and that's out of bounds in front of Dwayne Lamb. Stuart Lowe, 13 marks, 13 kicks, 13 hand passes. Winmar, the tap out. Free kick going the West Coast Eagles' way. Picked up by Scott. Now Scott is at the left half-back flank. 16 1/4 minutes left in this game. There's mark number 14, if you don't mind.
Isn't he the worst kick for a great player?
He is. And that's why he's at centre half-back. Scott's kick, marked by Grant. Well, if I were giving votes, I think I'd have to put him in it.
My word.
Pekin's hand passes to Burke, put him under a little bit of pressure. Laidley is flattened as he tried for the tap out. Guy McKenna, and he always tries hard. Out to Mainwaring. If he can shepherd off his opponent out there, he does so. Boundary umpire indicating it's out of bounds. The field umpire comes in to have a word to Nixon. He's taken his number. Well, what was that for?
Didn't quite see that incident. Maybe a grab around the neck when it wasn't really called for, but nothing much in it, I wouldn't think.
Mainwaring takes the kick. No, I agree with that. Anir. Grant a little bit late on the scene. Up the half forward. Ugle can't take the mark. Taylor fires out the hand pass. Frawley steamrolling the opposition from full-back. A long kick by the skipper. And that's a fine mark to the acting skipper for the West Coast Eagles. Still they're trying. As Dean Laidley takes the hand pass from Dwayne Lamb. Ugle, one-handed. He might get a second chance here, Troy Ugle. He started on the forward line against Collingwood when he was moved there in the last quarter. And gets a goal. for Eagles. First goal, and the Eagles 6 to 16-15.
It's a bit of a, what would you call it, a last-minute rush by the Eagles. Eagles goal there, their 6th. And St Kilda yet to add to their three-quarter time score. St Kilda was 16-15 at three-quarter time. The Eagles have kicked 1-3. Eagles' 4th kick. He's had 13 hand passes, kicked his first goal, and the 6 goals have been kicked by 6 different players. I don't know whether that indicates very much that maybe their forward work has been very, very ordinary.
Has been, I agree with that.
But I think their kicking into the forward line also has been just haphazard. There hasn't been any method whatsoever. The kicks have just been bombing away from across the centre line, across the half-back line, and it's been a real struggle for the forwards. High over the top. Irving couldn't quite get an effective tap at it. Grant comes back towards Harding, crashes his way through Harding. The kick towards half forward. St Kilda mark to Owen. Owen, if he moves it quickly, could get Lockett one out. He does so. The drop punt kick in the Lockett direction, and Lockett marks. Well, it sounded predictable, and it was predictable. Tony Lockett now for his 9th goal, as Harding will be interchanged with Devonport.
Too strong.
Harding's performance not bad, as Lockett goes for goal number 9. He hooks it from directly in front and misses.
He's only kicked 1 goal there for Ian after half-time. What have you got him down for?
I've got him down for 8 goals 4. But that was a shocker, and he's very disappointed with himself there. The look on his face tells it all. Rance kicks it back in for the Eagles.
And Rance has been his opponent since half-time too, so I suppose on that, Murray Rance has done a pretty good job. As Phil Scott hits the deck. A bounce close to centre wing. 13.5 minutes left in this game. One that the Eagles would care to forget. Quite a few injury problems though. Hasn't helped their cause. There's finally Pike. Boots it away, thumped away by Devonport again. Back to Bowie. Good hand pass to Nathan Burke, moving downfield. What's the kick like? No good if you're an Eagles fan or a St Kilda fan. It's an Eagles ball.
Gee, that was a bit of a charity, I thought.
Chris Mainwaring has the mark, yes. Did he hold it long enough? Kick number 19. At the back, Rice reading it better. On to Russo. He's been a pretty good player today too. Winmar goes down. Pike dummies the hand pass and finally fires one away to Wilson, who gets clear of Pekin. Up towards full forward for the Eagles. Oh, gee, there's no one home there. Grant doing it easily. A hand pass away. Sumich, Frawley, Langdon, Taylor, Ugle. Ugle grab, we're not in possession, it looked like. Burke does get a kick away. Kemp. Will he take it out in front of Bowie? No, Langdon. Looks for another hand pass. Back to Dean Laidley. Laidley with a centering kick up towards full forward again. Grant doing some useful work. This is Kitchke though. Well, we said he was a bit of a lumberer before, but I don't think I'd like to race him. He runs his full distance. Kick wasn't too good on the run, but that's being hypercritical. Winmar tackled well by Pike. He comes up with the ball, beautifully done from Nicky Winmar, the Saints' best and fairest winner last year. Attempted smother by Nixon was a good effort, and finally taps the ball clear. And then those little things that coaches like. Lamb's kick under pressure wasn't good. Pios will give it back to him. And he's hooked it high, wide, and not too handsome. An easy mark to Kitchke, who again decides to go for a run and play on.
Kitchke's kick up towards half forward, crashing his way through as Owen couldn't control the mark. Goes after it again, and we'll have a boundary throw in. About 70 metres. Oh, no, it's going back towards the 50-metre line now for St Kilda. Kitchke, 11 kicks and 10 hand passes with 6 marks, and a much improved effort from his first game, where he showed lots of promise. The kick comes from Laidley, back in towards the centre. Why they keep kicking it to Stuart Lowy has got me absolutely stymied. The ball comes out through some strong St Kilda defence. Pekin, Devonport fumbles, but he gets the hand pass over the top. Perhaps a tap on. Rice up against the boundary line, kicks it, up towards full forward, no one home, and the long arms of Irving takes the mark for the Eagles. He kicks it back out towards the outer side. Now Burke has got two players against him. Wilson comes in to assist Kemp. Wilson's kick towards full forward, no mark taken. Strong in defence, Frawley taps it out the back in towards Taylor. Taylor tackled by Ugle. Devonport's back there. Burke, look at the hand passes. They've got too many players back there, St Kilda. Burke, back it goes to Lowy. And the big man comes out of defence. Hits the hand pass to Bowie. 10 minutes left in the match. Bowie up towards the half-forward line. The little kick is favoured to Winmar. Winmar's kick towards full forward. Lockett at the back. 2 or 3 players. Down goes the Eagles player. Kick by Cracker. It's a goal.
His first for the day, Jimmy Cracker. And what a goal it was. Scoreboard shows St Kilda now 17 goals, 16, 118. The West Coast Eagles 66-42. And that equals their best ever score against the Eagles, kicked last year. Let's watch Cracker again. Ever alert. Offloaded as he kicks. Jimmy Cracker's first goal. Now the Saints have a chance to better their previous highest score against the Eagles. Bowie out of the centre with a towering punt kick, looking for Lockett, who is behind 3 players. Cracker again. This time he gives one away to Pekin. Back to Bowie it comes. Curling back in, but not far enough. And only one behind, but there will be another kick. Yes. So Bowie with the opportunity.
St Kilda have had 77 more possessions. They've had 207 kicks to 169, 126 hand passes to 87.
You won't get any arguments from me on those stats. Bowie with the free kick and a chance to put one behind or one goal. Any score would bring up St Kilda's highest ever score against the Eagles, which, as I said, was last year, 118 points. They are on that at the moment. Should get the distance. He hasn't. Is that a mark? Rance is looking for one, and Lamb will rush it through. Statistically, it's important. That's about all. 119 points now, with under 9 minutes left in the game, and Rance will kick the ball back in. He's had the job on Lockett in the second half of the game, and statistically, again, has done a good job. Rice got one hand to it. He was the flyer. Kitchke to Winmar. It's a better kick from Winmar. Or Lockett, one out, should mark here. Very hard to beat him in those contests.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rance was in a great position and held his ground pretty well. And I would suggest that he would be very frustrated there, Murray Rance, because he couldn't do any better than that in a one-on-one situation. Usually Tony Lockett gets his opponent completely out of position and takes a good one-grab mark. But he had to get 2 grabs at that one.
He's kicked 8. He's kicked 9. But only 2 goals after half-time for Tony Lockett. St Kilda's 18th, 18-17 to 6-6.
Well, Tony Lockett, I think we might have put the Jonah on him when we were talking about 20 goals in a match and breaking Fred Fanning's record, etc., etc. You've mentioned that he's only kicked a couple of goals since half-time. But there's still a bit of time left. We've got 8 minutes left. He's kicked 9. Let's see what can happen in the remaining time. Bounce back in the centre. Kitchke's now in the ruck. Kick out of it comes from Pike up towards half forward. Ugle gathers. No, he doesn't. He leaves it behind for Taylor. Taylor's kick towards half forward. Nixon's on his own. He's got a few options. Bowie. Bowie goes to Russo. Back to Bowie. Bowie to himself. Now he'll be tackled. The ball runs free now out wide. Burke and Mainwaring in a race for the ball. Mainwaring just kicks it to the advantage of his side, gathers about 15 metres, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in. 18-17 plays 6-6 with 7.5 minutes left in the last quarter. So St Kilda will go on and gather another 4 points in their quest for, first of all, the final 5. And they're looking a real threat to put a side on the field that can be competitive come September. Winmar, high leap, free kick. A definite free kick to Wilson, the Eagles player. He plays on quickly, kicks it wide, out towards Langdon. He gathers pretty well. Round to the left foot goes Carl Langdon and thumps it high in towards full forward. No mark taken. Ugle swoops on the ball. Kicks it across his body. Frawley can't mark. The bouncing ball goes through from behind of the Eagles. 6-7 to the West Coast Eagles. St Kilda 18-17.
6.5 minutes left in the match. How many marks is that he's taken? Is that 15? 14 or 15?
15.
Stuart Lowe. This is Kemp.
Not a bad effort by this youngster.
Playing only his second game.
9 kicks and 6 hand passes.
Played fairly well last week. Tries for the spiral punt. Doesn't really get too much distance with it. Grant, I think, will be content to rush it through from behind. Well, he's played well. Lowe, you'd have to put in the votes, I guess, and when a player kicks 9 goals, like Tony Lockett, I think you'd have to include him too. But
Grant 13 and 8.
then again, quite a few other players would be disappointed in missing out because you could put them all in today. Winmar. And a great team effort. Tim Pekin. What an asset he's been, certainly on today's form. That'll be a free kick downfield. For the second time today, he's been bowled over.
He's cramped up pretty badly too behind play there with the trainer.
And Rod Owen
coming out quickly.
Nicky's okay.
Just cramp.
William stands the mark. Owen himself has kicked 4 goals today, 2 in the first quarter. Lockett just took off before acceptances there, and Irving takes the mark. Laidley. Now the Eagles running in 3s. First time I've seen that today. A little bit late. Let's admire their persistence. Devonport goes for the boundary line, or did he go for Laurie, who snares it just inside the line? Not a good kick by Grant. Laurie didn't really look, and he's found a near who gets the order from the umpire to play on. Kick the centre half forward. Ugle goes down. Wilson, who's tried hard today, likes a goal, should get the distance, and has done. So Peter Wilson's first goal. West Coast Eagles 7th. 7-8 to 18-17.
7 different goal scorers for the Eagles. And it's been a pretty ordinary performance. I think they came over with high expectations.
Well, we certainly had hopes for them today, didn't we?
My word, I think that after their effort against Collingwood, they must have lots of trouble travelling. The Eagles trailing lamentably in the last term. Opportunity for Lockyer, gets around onto the right foot, sends a long one into the full forward area. Ugle can't mark when he should have, and St Kilda just take it over through Nixon for a boundary throw in that left forward pocket.
It's a bad miss by Ugle.
And I think he may have been surprised by the carry on that kick from Lockyer, but the chance went missing. The ruck contest, Pike dispossessed. Still the Saints, miserly in defence. Russo fighting hard. Anir. Kick across his body, may even bounce through. No, just to the right of the goal post and through for another behind. So the Eagles slowly adding to their score. 7-9, St Kilda 18-17.
It will be St Kilda's biggest ever win over the Eagles. And it will be their highest score. It already is their highest score over the Eagles. Low again. Russo. Harvey. Not the greatest of hand passes. He's had to try to pick up today. Laidley shows courage to try to get through. Wilson. No one to give it to. Could have almost been penalised.
It was a great tackle.
Has done.
It was a super tackle there by Dean Rice.
Did he give the umpire a sign there? Thought he might have. Nixon. He's had his number taken. Grant. Well, he's done nothing wrong today. Russo. St Kilda's teamwork has been brilliant. Pekin on to Cracker. Didn't kick a goal until the last quarter, but can he make it 2 for the game? Not with that kick, Jimmy. 1 behind. Registered by the former North Star.
Interesting to watch Lockett there. He did lead, he was in front, but he indicating to Jimmy Cracker to go for goal. Kick it over my head and go for goal.
And Peter, well, the Tony Lockett has kicked 9 so far. So 19 from 2 matches. He's well on target to break 150 if he can keep that up. McKenna, Grant, Rice. Hooks the ball back, tries to find Lowe. Winmar with the knock on, only succeeds in getting it to Chris Mainwaring. A useful dummy. Which way is this ball going to bounce? Kemp onto Laidley. Laidley at centre field. 20-metre hand pass to Langdon over the head of Lowe. Onto Lockyer. You'll have to be quick. Pike, likewise. Pike from a standing start, shoots and goals. And he's the first Eagles player to kick 2 goals. 18-18 to 8-9.
Well, they've kicked 3 goals, 6 in this last term, so they've got some sort of respectability on their scoreline. 8 goals, 9, but they'll still go home having a very, very bad loss against their name, and some regrouping to be done. If they're going to come back here and be competitive, I think that they've got to really put in as far as manning up's concerned. So, with just under 2.5 minutes left in the match, the interest remains as to perhaps how many more goals Tony Lockett can kick up at full forward for St Kilda. The ball comes out from Laidley, gathered beautifully by Laurie. He goes straight towards goal. Owen at the back gathers pretty well, but he can't get the hand pass to Jimmy Cracker. He goes back and gets it again himself, and with skill gets around McKenna, kicks it in the Lockett direction. Lockett marks. No, play on. Well, could have nearly been paid. Winmar can't get his foot to the ball, and it's hurried through from behind us St Kilda, and the Saint fans aren't happy about that one. Their hero, Plugger, up at full forward, and he was not paid that mark, and he's having a bit of a chat to umpire Chris Mitchell just outside the 10-metre square. Rance kicks the ball out towards the members' side. At the back, Pekin can't mark. Irving can. He's been paid in front, and he plays on quickly. Irving, a nice looking kick too towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Opportunity now for Pike. Could this be goal number 3 to the Rover? It is. It's a great kick, and Don Pike kicks his 3rd, and the Eagles kick their 9th.
3 goals to Pike, 18-19, 127 to the Eagles, 9-9, 63.
And it's amazing how many times those goals come from opportunities further afield where a possession is gathered across half-back. The player runs with the ball, hand pass over the top, players get it. The long kick from Irving was perhaps the reason there that the penetration was gathered from half-back, and Pike goes in and scores a goal. Beautiful play.
Minute and a quarter left in this game here at Moorabbin. Knocked down by Irving for the West Coast Eagles. Low kicks into his opponent there. Kitchke to Russo, around Laidley. Now can Lockett get 1 goal to make it 10? Pekin gives it over to Harvey. Will he go for a pass or have a shot? I don't know what he was trying to do with that kick. Rance clears the ball. Pios has best position. Should be able to pick it up. One of the walking wounded. And there are many of them in the West Coast Eagles jerseys at the moment. St Kilda player down behind play as Langdon takes the mark at half forward. Now Carl Langdon would be 60 to 65 metres out. It looks like Rice. It is. He's okay. Carl Langdon to shoot for his 2nd goal. He kicked the 1st goal of the match, actually. If this is a goal, it may very well be the last goal of the match.
Beautiful kick.
And indeed he's got it. So Langdon 2 goals, and the Eagles 10th, 10-9-69 to 18-19, 127.
Well, there won't be much more time left in the game. Peter Russo moving out of the centre square, going down to half forward for St Kilda. So that could be the last score of the game. 10-9-69. The West Coast Eagles, I'm sure they'd have been looking for a bigger score than that. And the bounce back in the centre. Irving gets the tap out. Bowie, left foot kick towards half forward. McKenna will gather. Comes out of half back. Gives the hand pass back to Worsfold. There's the siren. And St Kilda have won comfortably. The Saints 18-19, 127. There's Tony Lockett in the picture, who kicked 9 of those 18 goals. And St Kilda have won by 58 points. The West Coast 10-9-69.